Well, we've made it back to Carlisle from that final stage through Pundashaw. What a monster that was. Drama in the very first stage of this RAC rally. Drama that we couldn't have predicted. Drama that we promised you would be there, but we didn't realise quite how soon that would all start. And drama right at the very end. 3 cars going into that final stage, looking like those 3 cars would have come out in some kind of order. And of course then we lost the Stratos. Still no confirmed word of exactly what happened to Seb Perez and Gary McElhaney in the Amigos Lancia Stratos in that final stage. All we know is they didn't come through. They were parked up off the road somewhere. Whether they'd gone off or whether they parked up, we're as yet unsure. All of those things will come out in the wash as we begin to reflect on this adventure. So much to unpack and to consider and reflect on after 5 days, 5 of some of the most incredible days of rallying I can remember, doing this for almost 15 years. I've never been on the edge of my seat as much as I was today, talking to some of you here at the finish and reading your comments and talking to you online. You felt the same. You've lived this adventure with us, with the competitors and their teams, with the thousands of volunteers, the army of organisers and marshals that have come out in their droves to support this event. And we've got you closer to the action than ever. We have done so many hours of live TV. I don't even know how many. We're on for 1 million views across the coverage this week on the RAC Rally. And Autosport, Tom, the journalist who covers rally for Autosport, was just telling me that the video they put out from the Roger Albert Clark Rally has done more views this week online than anything they've put out from Formula One, MotoGP finales, anything. That speaks volumes. What we've got here is something very special. We as a community, we as a collective covering these rallies, and the royal we, those people there in those cars, the real stars of the show. Marty McCormack, Barney Mitchell seemingly knew what they were doing at the beginning of this 5 days, didn't they? And they really did know what they were doing. They just hung there. They knew that going flat out from the start wasn't how they've won this rally before, and they knew that going flat out on this final day wasn't the way either. They managed that rally, and what an incredible job they have done. We will get some reaction from our crews.
Stage miles, and it all comes down to this. I would like everybody, please give the biggest round of applause that you can.
Matt Cotton is just warming up the crowd here at the finish while we bring you the atmosphere and the celebrations here. Your rally winners there. Marty McCormack, Barney Mitchell. Marty making it 3 wins, 4 wins. Barney making it 3 wins, because Phil Clark, who was 3rd with Jason Pritchard today, came first.
But it never gets old, it never gets tired.
With Marty on that first victory.
Hands in the air, that's an important shot.
Those boys have done
3 times
a special job here.
In Marty McCormack. 4 times winner of this rally.
Matt Cotton doing exactly what I did, 3-time winner.
Not 4 for you though, is it?
4 wins for Irishman Marty
We've
McCormack.
become friends over the last few days. It's okay. It's all right. It's all fine. It's all fine.
We've been on a
we'll have
grueling
very quick chat
adventure.
with you, Marty, if that's okay. Step forward.
We'll have a chat with Marty and
Rally, eh? Oh my
Barney
God.
on the live stream just after Matt's finished, having a first chat with them in front of the crowd here.
The whole team, everybody.
Catherine McCourt, Liam Moynihan, Jason Pritchard, Phil Clark, extremely emotional Phil Clark, wasn't he, at the finish, lining up ready to come through here and celebrate their incredible achievements. 350 stage miles over 5 days in 3 different countries. The longest, the most challenging, the most grueling rally for over 30 years. That last stage, the longest for well over 40 years. Nobody's had the creativity or the boldness to do that. Colin Heppenstall and his team decided they were. Not only were they going to put the longest stage in, not just British rallying, but world rallying, by the way, for decades. They decided they were going to do it as the last stage. After all the rest of the mileage was done and everybody had had their adventure.
To keep the I know what this man's like. What does it keep to take him on the straight and narrow for 5 whole days?
Take the phone out of his hands.
Just tuning in, we had that incredible final stage through Pundashaw, 38 miles, and here we are at the finish in Carlisle. Road section complete, final time control complete. A word for Mike Stewart and Sinclair Young.
The temperament say, we've got a good team, and we probably didn't get the homework we wanted to do for this rally because of work, etc. But you have to have that wee bit of knowledge and sit behind the scenes. It's not all about being fastest. So.
Well done, gents. Congratulations. You've had a couple of chats. We'll get to speak to you at the award ceremony in a second. Barney, go the other side of the car. There's a bottle of champagne. We've got to do this. This is the important part. We need a bit of a champagne spray from these guys.
Here's the champagne moment then. We will grab a word for you guys at home with our rally winners in just a moment, so do bear with us. The interviews you heard there from the crowd here, I know you're struggling to hear them. The sweet taste of success here at the RAC rally for Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell.
Winners of this 5-day
Quick to the live stream. Barney,
Yeah.
that's 3 for you.
That's 3 for me, yeah. 4 for Marty, yeah.
What an incredible adventure it's been. We spoke to you at the finish. It was incredibly emotional there, wasn't it? We were just saying how emotional it was at the finish, Marty, and we were all feeling that with you. You were out there in the lead, but it's not easy. How on earth do you get through a stage that long with a lead that big that could all be thrown away with a puncture?
I start singing.
Yeah? What did you sing?
Please get me to the end of the stage.
You want to give us a rendition for everyone watching at home?
Are we there yet? I kept saying to Barney, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, you try and, what I did in there and what we did in there was we tried to, because you can lose yourself and by trying to just keep a pace. So where it was slippy, dangerous, tight, anything, we managed ourselves. We short shifted the car, but where it was fast, grippy, and we weren't putting any load on it, and then we got back on a nice little pace and we dipped along and sort of played with it a bit, if you know, to keep the mind going and keep us going. And that's what we did. So some places we were probably be faster in a Transavan. Other places we were quite happy with our pace over the fast section. So that's what we thought worked this morning, and it worked quite well in there.
Seemingly, you guys knew what you were doing earlier in this week, because when you look at how it's panned out, earlier on everyone's saying Martin McCormack is dropping back, he's losing time to those guys up ahead, but you didn't ever seem particularly worried.
Well, I guess we knew we had full faith in the car that John and all the guys put together and all our equipment, but we also knew that, well, we felt, and we talked about it ourselves about back and forth, that we tried to stick with the pace at the front, we were going to break or the car was going to break. That's how we felt. And we decided, right, especially on Friday, once we had a moment on Friday, we chatted after that stage, we said, look, if we continue this, we're going to go off. And we slowed down a bit too much on Friday night, lost the rhythm, but then we picked up the rhythm again. Saturday was just a messy day with parts, stuff, clipped a stone, things like that happen anyway. But we had a really, really clean day on Sunday and kept on a nice pace on Sunday. You know, you still have to keep in a good pace to keep ahead of these guys, you know, and that was the thing. And we got into rhythm and we said, you know what, let's do our thing. And it worked for us.
Barney, I know what the best moment of the weekend or the week was for you, but what's the toughest moment this week?
There's been a few tough moments, to be quite honest with you. There was a few things didn't go our way at the start of the weekend. Just few wee difficulties and things. You have to keep your head up. You keep, as Marty said, we were talking about that film Flight, is it? Minute by minute. That's all you can do. Minute by minute, you keep going stage by stage, day by day, get to the end. And when you get to the end, you see where you end up. We've ended up first. So
it's happened a few times, so it's obviously a game plan that works. Congratulations to both of you. I know how much that means. Marty McCormack, Barney Mitchell, what an adventure.
Thank you very much. It's been epic.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Brilliant. Thank you.
There you go, guys, watching at home. These guys are, you can tell, absolutely wiped out and very emotional here at the finish. Apologies for the earlier sound. We were going to catch up with them after Matt's done the interviews for the audience here, which is why we just waited there. We'll speak to Catherine and Liam and also Jason and Phil in just a moment. Matt just getting them together. All important photos of that podium. Of those guys on the podium, you've got to say, particularly Jason and Phil, with how down in the dumps they've been, with how the progress went towards the early and middle part of this rally, they've got to be the most surprised and delighted to be on that podium, I think.
That's great. We'll call you up individually in just a second. In the meantime, thank you very much, Marty McCormack.
Right, we'll get a quick word then with Jason. Jason, Phil, for people watching at home who've been watching your progress this week and have seen, we've lived this with you. We've been really close to your adventure and your trials and tribulations, of which you have had many. And I think off this podium, am I right in saying that you're perhaps the most surprised to be here, given the problems you have faced this week?
Yeah, definitely. I think 24 hours ago I sat in the boot lid and no phone signal, nothing, and I thought, are we going home tonight or in the morning? And here we are on the podium. So yeah, surprised, and Phil keeps me on my toes and just keep plodding on, and yeah, we're here thanks to the team around us.
It's a rally you know how to win, Phil. How does this compare?
How does this compare? Well, that was on maps, of course, and this is double the length almost of 2012 with Marty. But this event, as you just said, like, you've just got to keep going because you never know what's going to happen. It is an endurance event. It's not like the one-day things that we do. You have just got to keep going and keep going and keep going. And hey, we've ended up on the podium. Got to say commiserations to Seb Perez, you know, for not finishing with a Stratus. That's such a shame, really.
Everybody felt that with him as well. You guys were particularly emotional at the end, particularly you, Phil. You got out of the car and we had to give you a moment to collect yourself. Just tell us about that moment as you came around the corner and the marshals were there.
Yeah, fantastic moment, really. We're coming up to a right-hander and I glanced up and there's a row. There must have been, I don't know, 10 marshals or something like that. And they're all stood there and they're all just clapping like this, you know. And I thought, what a lovely moment, you know. Yes, it was awesome. It was awesome, I got to say.
And at that point, you knew you were on the podium. Congratulations, chaps. That is a great result.
Thank you. See you in 2 years.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
There we go. I told you they were probably the most surprised to be here, and they definitely were. We'll grab Liam and Kahan as well when they brought that car through. Just let Kahan. Liam, while Kahan's bringing that car across, you can give us a bit of an insight into what it's been like, because you've been in that top 10 and you've been fighting, you've been swapping positions. One of the crews that's probably swapped positions more than most inside that top 10. You've had battles with various people, haven't you, on your way to this second place?
Yes, when we started, we kind of weren't lucky at times, just trying to keep out of trouble and trying not to break the car. And the Cahan has no rallying done over here. I did this rally probably 15-20 years ago. I was in the historic rally, but I never did this Roger Arbor. But no, we never had a time that we couldn't race. So we wanted times that we couldn't race, but we never had that time, because to be fair to Seb Perez and Gary McInerney, they gave a great show, and that Stratus, sure, everyone loves it, and fair play to them, like, it was a great race all along. But we have to take our hands off the one man here, and that's Ryan Lochran. Ryan Lochran out Billy's car, and it was bomb-proof, to be fair to him. We asked anything we asked the boys, and anytime even our own boys there, Keelan and Rory, they go to moon and back for you, but Ryan has to, he had Barry McKenna's car, and we see what Barry did to his car the last couple of days, and it kept going, and Barry's here to finish, and no credit to the organisers and Colin and all the family. This is top class. This rally, is it 2 to 3 times the length of a double RC? Yes. It's fantastic. Even on a Monday evening here in facing for the 1st of December, look at the crowds here. And thanks to everyone, and Cahan as well. Fantastic. So.
Kahan, you've had battles all the way through that leaderboard, and there were times when it wasn't going your way, other times when it looked like you had a bit of a game plan. You had 30 seconds to make up on that Stratos to take the victory going into that final stage today. Just tell me what that moment was like, getting up on the Stratos and seeing it at the side of the road. What goes through your mind?
Aye, look here, we made a plan this morning that we'd take the first loop of stages and make our notes better. So we didn't go mad in the first 3 stages, which made up the big one. And we were going into the big one for a big push to try and get the Stratus. So whenever we seen him parked on the side of the road, the job was kind of done. It was just get to the end of the stage then. But that was harder than I thought. Just a couple of big moments near the end and just lost concentration, I suppose. But no, here it's a pity. Gary and Seb went. They had a great weekend. Have to give it to them. They were driving very well. And look, we made a bit of a game plan at the start that we'd have a steady go at it, and it has kind of worked out for us in the best here.
Well, our 4-time winner made a very similar game plan. It's also worked out for him. There's definitely something in that. Congratulations, chaps. You have entertained these guys at home all week, and you deserve this prize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick word with Matt Cotton before he goes on and entertains the crowd. Matt, what a week.
Oh, it's been sensational. Not over yet for us, not over yet for you as well. I know Wayne's going to be busy later on, but absolutely sensational. It's just so memorable for so many reasons. We love every second. Thanks for being part of it, everybody.
Matt Cotton, who has joined myself and Phil Bramwell on that live coverage this week of the 2023 RAC Rally. Just getting our interviews in for you at home before the celebrations get underway here at the finish in Carlisle. Right, that's all we've got time for from Carlisle, from the finish of the Roger Albert Clark Rally. Thank you so much for joining us this week. I know that you've lived this adventure with us, with all of our competitors. You've lived the painful moments, you've lived the joyful ones, and I know you're celebrating, as we are, one incredible rally and a victory for rallying in the UK, because the whole world has been watching us this week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in to the RAC Rally Report, the final show tonight at 8 p.m. We'll see you there.